Hello YouTube, it's Krow, and here we're actually doing a review after such a long time without one. And this review is going to be on the amazing Strike Freedom Gundam. It's 100% a great high grade, and definitely excited to go ahead and show you some of the little details about it. And before I actually get into the full review, I just want to let y'all know that my current display is definitely not the old one I used to have, so just definitely had to improvise, and if the lighting or quality just isn't as good, I do apologize, but without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the review. So what is it about this kit that just really stands out and makes me just love it with all of its appeal? I would have to tell you it's the risk that it takes with the red inner frame and all the parts placement. I can definitely say out of all the Build Fighters kits I've seen and built, this one definitely is a little bit different in the fact that the aesthetics, the color placement, everything just is very off and definitely not something I would have preferred, but for some reason it really just kind of works out all together. So for the head, I really like the V-fin shape. It actually does come with the original V-fin for the Strike Freedom if you do wish to swap it out. But I really love the head. It does come with stickers that's going to be for the eyes, and then the two like kind of sensors at the top of the head. And then you get a small blue one for the back sensor as well. Okay, so looking at the body is really nice. It very much mimics the Strike Freedom. The only big difference is you're going to have this really big white piece just kind of protruding out of the chest, which I really don't care for, but it's an aesthetic I'm just kind of getting used to. And one thing I really do like about this kit, it has an amazing kind of ab crunch right here. There's a little ball joint right inside of here to where it can really pull off some pretty dynamic poses, as you can see. And with the shoulders, as you can see, they're pretty good. I mean, a lot of it is essentially the Strike Freedom. I think for most of the arm it is. This is actually different right here. And the shoulders are just a little bit different, but for the most part it has a very much Strike Freedom vibe to it. And it does come with this nice little sticker right here that has the initials of it. So he's going to come with two different sets of hands. One is going to be the kind of, closed slash like gripping hand right here. So that way he can hold on to any kind of weapons, whether it be beam sabers or it's actually his main rifle. And then he's also going to have these little open hands right here, so that way he can just kind of pull off a little more dynamic poses and not looking all crazy with this little other empty hand just kind of gripping pretty much the air. Alright, so looking at the waist, nothing really too special. The only things that I really have to mention, so this top part, this little gray piece, and then this bottom like navy blue piece, for some reason the connection points that hit inside the waist just crumbled. Like it wasn't like a snap or anything. It basically was like very brittle and just fell apart. It may have been me kind of like when I was messing with it, putting it together, I might have bumped into it and maybe broke it that way, but I've never really seen a connector part pretty much crumble. So I actually had super glue these parts. Not saying that every kit is like that, but just want to give y'all a head of caution just to make sure you're watching out for these two parts, because they're kind of easy just to bump into whenever you're messing with it. And then looking right here on the side, there is a spot right here where you can put the piece for, pretty much where the beam saber mounts are. You can put that right there and put the beam sabers there, but it doesn't really call for it, so I just went ahead and omitted it. Now you do have the railguns right here, and they do open up pretty much like so. No big issues. They don't really move around as much. They can kind of rotate since they're on a kind of like a little hinge right here, so they can rotate back and forth, but you're pretty much going to keep it in the front. Now this red piece right here is actually a sticker, so I mean if you need to paint it red you could definitely do so, but I went ahead and just used a sticker because I don't have my my actual paint stuff, so that way I could actually make that a painted red. Alright, and looking at the back skirts do have the two beam sabers right here. They just snap right in, and also on the front skirts you can go ahead and move these up just a little bit, but they don't really go up that high, so it does kind of suck. So on the back of the legs there's actually a little gimmick that if you push this little part up right here, and once you get this little kind of like leverage right here, you can pull this out, and there's pretty much some thrusters. I just went ahead and painted mine silver, but yeah, you definitely get some thrusters right inside the legs. So next I actually want to talk about this backpack and just some of the gimmicks I can go ahead and show you. The side, I guess you'd call them binders or dragoons, they do open up like that, and these parts can actually be removed. So if you really want to have like the dragoons kind of flying around, you could definitely do so. But it's a pretty cool gimmick. I do like this. And the stickers that's going to be applied on here is really just going to be this yellow, you know, big old sticker right here. And then on the inside, these kind of like circular kind of, I don't know what it's supposed to be, like gears or something like that. But those are actually red stickers right there. And that's it as far as the sticker placements on these binders. The last part of stickers is going to be right here on these little kind of shoulder cannons. You really are going to have like a couple of, you know, blue-ish tint of a sticker. So nothing really too noteworthy, but yeah, you do get some stickers right there. So what other kind of gimmicks and movements does this backpack have? Well, outside of these binders being able to open up like I showed you earlier, they can actually rotate quite a bit, which gives it that kind of posability for it shooting forward, because at the tip of these dragoons are actually pretty much supposed to be beam, you know, lasers that come out right here. As I color them, if you can see it, I color them black just that way it represents like the little kind of barrel of where these beams actually come out of. These shoulder mounted cannons, these can actually rotate forward, so you kind of just bring them up and then bring them forward like so. And then lastly on this backpack, these little parts right here, they're actually on little tiny ball joints, so they can move around a little bit, but they do tend to fall off, so you're just going to have to be careful whenever you're handling them. Okay, so what's the next thing on the accessories? Well, there's really not much else for accessories outside of just those little hands. And if you want to count the extra parts, then you can. But the main thing that this guy's going to have as far as his arsenal is going to be this nice little, pretty much beam rifle. It also has these dragoons right here on the side of it, which are detachable. So you can pull them off. And it's a little bit difficult, but just make sure you don't try and break it. But they can be detached. And I mean, if I had more stands, I would pretty much be displaying this with all the dragoons launched, because I think that's pretty cool. And you know, I think the rifles are okay. The horizontal kind of look to it is a little bit weird, but I think that's fine just because it's a very unique looking mobile suit. So I think that's what kind of makes this a little bit more acceptable. And also it's going to have a blue sticker right here on the scope. Okay, so there's actually another little gimmick that this kit does have. It's a gimmick I don't really care for because I think it looks a little ridiculous. Even though the whole kit kind of looks a little ridiculous, but the gimmick that it actually has is it can use this wing binders as a shield. So I'm gonna go ahead and demonstrate that to you right now. You're just gonna go ahead and pop this little part off right here, and then this can actually detach from the wing part. And as you see right here, it has like these little prongs, and then that's gonna go ahead and attach into the shoulder, pretty much the little shoulder inputs right there, and bam. So now he can actually use that as a shield. It would look pretty decent if it was now asymmetrical, because now it has the other binder on this end, and I don't really see how it can really balance itself if it was in a fight. But so what are my overall thoughts on this kit? Well, I definitely have to say this kit is pretty awesome. Now, one of the problems it does have, it's actually pretty back heavy. But I don't think that's really as much of a con, because you really don't want to have this kit just displayed standing up. I think this kit really stands out whenever you have it in a pretty dynamic pose on a stand. So if you can, definitely have it on the stand, and that whole back heavy problem would pretty much be a thing of the past. Alright, so one last bad kind of note on this kit. I really wish it would have came with a couple extra effect parts for the beam sabers, as well as maybe some different types of accessories. It's really cool that it does come with a sticker. It does come with some beam saber hilts, but that's just really not enough. I really feel that this kit could have came with like maybe a better shield attachment part. Could have came with maybe an extra weapon or so. But I'm not gonna say it's a bad kind of thing. It's just something that is personal to me that I'm just kind of griping about. But other than that, I mean, the kit is amazing. I recommend it to anyone. I actually hated the aesthetics at first, but I really came around to really enjoying him. The posability is fantastic. Parts don't really pop off as much, except for like some of the back binders. But other than that, this kit is fantastic. I do recommend it to anyone who is a fan of the Seed kind of designs as well as the Build Fighters aesthetics. So with that, guys, I just want to go ahead and thank y'all for subscribing to my channel. Thank you for watching this video all the way up until this point. If you have any kind of like recommendations for the channel, for the videos, or for any upcoming content, just go ahead and let me know in the comments below, and I'll definitely go ahead and reply back to you. Other than that, guys, thanks for watching. Please rate, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next review. Bye.